Foresight Wrestling Podcast on the one and only 411 Podcast Network.
We're back, a little older, a little wiser, and still in the lab. Steve, what's up?
We are still in the lab. How are you?
I'm good. We are both back in Wisconsin.
Yeah, how's your vacation?
Oh, it was fine, but that's in the past. So how's Wisconsin been?
Well,
as good as Raw's been?
Ooh, ouch, man. Yeah, no, it's been... that's kind of dissing Wisconsin a little bit, don't you think?
A little bit. But the last time we spoke, Brock Lesnar was on SmackDown.
Yep.
Seth Rollins was Universal Champion.
Right, yep.
And the Revival were Tag Team Champions.
Yeah.
So we got a little catching up to do.
A little bit. Nothing happened, really. It just, like, the Matrix blinked out, and when we came back, Bray Wyatt was Universal Champion.
Yes, he was.
Brock Lesnar was on Raw.
And now NXT is on every show.
And now NXT is everywhere. And the Revival, they're where?
They're still waiting their contract out, I think.
Oh, okay.
And so NXT's on every show, and Brock's on no show? Is that
He's
opposite?
I mean, I guess it's not really any different than when he's normally there. He doesn't do anything.
We need
anyways.
like the immovable object versus the irresistible force. Brock on NXT, like, you know, NXT's everywhere and Brock's nowhere.
You think Lesnar is gonna show up on NXT? That place only holds like 600 people.
Hey, he went to SmackDown for a month.
Yeah. He's not gonna go anywhere that, you know, they can't be chanting or booing, or he's got to have a bigger arena in order to show up. It takes a little
What's
bit.
a shorter flight from Minnesota? Florida? No, that's a pretty long flight, probably. So I don't think he'd make the trip, honestly.
No, he doesn't. I mean, he's got his own plane, apparently.
That's true. He'd say add another
and
zero.
His plane apparently works, if that's what you want to believe.
Oh, boy. Are we going to discuss? I don't think we're going to discuss
No, we don't have to, but wow.
What a mess.
Right?
And for the record, I can somewhat relate because I had a layover. What are they called when you...
You had to change planes?
Yeah, it went from California to Denver to Wisconsin.
Hey, we did that too.
Right. Yep. So the flight...
Did you go to LAX or did you...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we didn't do LAX. We did Ontario.
Okay. It was... our stuff was all around LAX, which obviously we planned.
Yeah.
So anyways, So the flight from California, this was when we came back. So early morning, 5 a.m., whatever it was. We got up at 4 a.m. That was nice. But anyways...
What did you think of the Denver airport? Isn't that thing weird?
Well, here's the story.
Okay.
The flight leaving California was delayed by 30 minutes.
Oh, no.
So if you do the quick math, our layover in Denver was 40 minutes.
You had 10 minutes.
Well... We landed 10 minutes, and we didn't start yelling, but we kind of looked around and we're like, our flight is boarding right now, and we're in the back row of our flight.
Oh.
And they had already made an announcement.
What airline?
Was it United?
Okay.
I don't even know. It was a top one. It wasn't some, like, whatever. So anyways.
Shut up. Southwest was awesome. It's just...
I don't know the flight. So
I understand the deboarding procedure. Like on Southwest, like you just basically have to wait. Especially if you're in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Two of them, I believe we were the last row. And then in the other ones, we were in the middle. But anyways, doesn't matter. So we got the announcement of, hey, we're delayed, so let the people connecting flight, let them go first. Everyone else, if you have time or whatever, sit down.
Just sit down.
Sit down, pretty much. So, you know, I don't know if the word is park. What's the word? They landed. They finally settled.
Okay.
And sure enough, everyone stands up.
Of course they do.
You pieces of...
Right,
And so we're looking around. A few other people are like, yeah, we're going to Milwaukee too. One was going to like Madsen and then driving to Milwaukee, or they were doing something weird where it didn't even make sense.
Madsen Airport's gorgeous, by the way.
I have never been there.
It's beautiful.
So we do the math. We're finally like standing up because at this point, again, we're not getting frustrated, but we're kind of like, all right, let's get going here. And it's at 7 minutes and the time's ticking. We ran to our flight or our gate.
Okay.
And they were boarding the second to last section or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
There's like,
boarding groups.
Yeah, groups,
Yeah,
that's it.
I get you.
And we just went right in line. We didn't even wait for our group to be called. The lady did not like that, but it's like, we're in line. I don't care. And then we sat down and they were already going. So I understand the flight problems a little bit. That Saudi Arabia.
So you spent all of like 3 seconds in Denver airport.
I have been to Denver years ago, but not their airport, so I can't really comment on the airport.
That airport was one of the craziest. So my daughter and I went to go like play Pokemon Go because we were bored. We had like an hour and a half there, and there's like a garden, like underground in the middle of the airport. Like you walk by it and it's like it looks like there's this whole ecosystem down there. I don't know if it's all fake or if they're like a biodome or what they're doing, but apparently a friend of mine, when we were at the wedding in California, was saying that there's like conspiracy theories. There's apparently like a secret society that lives underneath the Denver airport. Yep. All sorts of weird things that apparently happen underneath the Denver airport.
I should just fly to the Denver airport and just stay there.
Just hang out there for a minute. Yeah. I mean,
I should just stay
do some
there.
research.
Research a little thing. Maybe Mr. Matty Moses can get on some of that.
Oh, boy.
Maybe. But anyway, you guys are not here to listen about this crap.
No, we don't need vacation stories. We did some wrestling.
Yeah, so let's just wrestle right into it. So CM Punk is back.
He is back. Who called it? None of us.
None of us, except my January bold predictions column. But anyways, we will get to the ramifications and all that. But first news is, since clearly none of us were watching Backstage at 10 or 11 o'clock at Tuesday night, how did you find out about it?
I saw... how did I find out about it?
Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, went online maybe?
No, I think I was just on Twitter.
Tuesday night, really?
Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know. I just... I think I saw like a blip of it or something, so I was like, wait, what is this? And then I looked
Wait,
up,
what?
and then I saw the final moments of SmackDown. I'm like,
Okay, I obviously was not awake. I was my usual up early to bed. I saw Wednesday. There was a headline about it, and it was just like, well, there it is. It had obviously been rumored. We've been talking about it. This whole agent contacted who and the what and the where and the how and the whole...
Oh, you know what? I think I went to work, and just before I start, I kind of eat my donut and whatnot, and I looked through the headlines, and I think I caught a blip of it. It actually made the headlines on my one of my apps. Yeah.
Well, there you go. So we say he's back, but of course...
Well, he's not employed by WWE.
Here we go with the semantics. So he is...
Just saying.
He is technically... Yes, you are right.
He's employed by Fox.
He is with Fox. So I will remind everybody that Ultimate Warrior originally signed on for the video game.
Right.
Sting did the cover of that too. And
Fox could not have done it without approval.
Yeah, and it was the same with the 2K deal with all the video game stars doing their stuff. So, I mean, if we want to say he's not signed, he's not signed. But let's be honest, this is a step.
It's a step.
It's a baby step, but it's a step.
It's more or less kind of like testing the waters. Like, okay, he's going to take the money from Fox. He'll do his little thing, and then he's going to feel out, well, how receptive to ideas are they now that everybody has been hating on them? And, they've taken a lot of flack over the last couple of years. So, maybe they're open to stuff that he has to offer now.
Oh, they absolutely are. If he asked or if he called in 5 seconds, they'd say, can you book a flight to Monday Night Raw?
Oh, yeah. I believe Vince McMahon was quoted as saying it was always just a phone call away.
Yeah, and if you remember, even he gave Vince a big hug, and Vince was in tears when he left. It was this whole, I think it was obviously more on the Triple H end with this whole, you need to work with me, I don't need to work with you at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's
kind of a stinger that I don't know if that'll heal for a while.
I mean, like we opened the show with, they're both older, they're both wiser, they both have taken flack the last couple of years. CM Punk with his UFC attempt, and Triple H being head of whatever he is. Yeah, he's getting a lot of praise for NXT, but he is still a big part of the creative machine. So I mean, they've all been taking their lumps. So maybe there's a humbleness that has occurred in the last year or so.
I think there has to be. There was a report. I don't know how trustworthy you want to give it, but AEW did offer him a whole ton of money, and he turned it down. So, do you believe that? Do you think there's anything to him turning down AEW?
I think that the offer's probably legit. I mean, I'm sure they offered money. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want him? I mean, think of how big of a pop he would have gotten on AEW if he, and that's stirring the pot some more. Stick it to WWE just a little bit more. But I mean,
a little bit more.
I think he knows, what's right for his stability. You know, if you want the stable paycheck, that the avenue he took is the way to go.
Yeah, and I don't know. I know Triple H is obviously an executive, but I still think some people are maybe a little soured on the whole idea of the Young Bucks and Cody like kind of running the show, even though they're really not. But the idea that they're the quote-unquote boss,
Right.
even if Tony Khan's cutting the checks. So it's either going with the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega.
Which I've been enjoying every week.
Yes. Or, you know, Vince McMahon and Triple H. It's the whole devil you know versus devil you don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if how much, I mean, I've talked about this months ago, but the word I got was he'd always been favoring WWE over AEW if he ever did sign anything. And obviously it's with Fox. But the next question is, with Survivor Series in Chicago in a week and a half, just yes or no? No, nothing, yes or no?
Okay.
Does he appear on NXT TakeOver, the pre-show, the kickoff, front row, anything?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna whoa, easy. I'm gonna go ahead and say yeah.
Oh, boy.
Because he's there, and everybody,
Will he be there?
Well, I mean, everybody knows that he's quote unquote back. He's made his appearance.
He's
We
back.
all know
Let's
this.
cut it with the. Yeah, he's back. I don't know if he'll be in Chicago, but you don't think they'll say, "Hey, we're doing a little backstage vignette, or if we're filming, want to come in town?" And then when he gets there, hey, we got an idea to. And then it slowly snowballs. Till he's on camera going, "Wait a minute, you guys suckered me into."
Right, or maybe that's exactly what he wants. He's getting, hey, we got this idea. Oh, really? Now you have something for me. That kind of thing.
Okay, so you answered yes to that. How about yes or no? Will he be on Raw, SmackDown, or NXT live in the arena? Not again like a backstage promo or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In the ring by the end of the year.
End of the year.
2019. In the ring. Not a promo, something about backstage Tuesday nights at 10.
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. I mean, you said he'd be on Survivor Series week.
He's gonna do like a spot to draw more eyes to the show.
I would say just to shut up the Chicago crowd.
That too. That too.
Like, here he is, now cut it out.
Yeah, we've been chanting his name for 6 years. Myself included. I think when we went to Raw, I might have let one fly.
Oh,
I don't
boy.
know.
Some hard. Well, I'll add.
As much as I would love to say yes,
I'll say
I
no.
just don't think so.
Okay.
Not in ring.
All right. I can understand that. It does kind of remind me of Survivor Series in 2014, ironically, when Punk did his little deal to leave. But when Sting kind of showed up, and then it was just kind of it for a while. Like, he popped up, and then I think it went to January until he finally actually did something again with Triple H.
Yeah, I think you're right. Was it how'd that one go? Did Triple H start that, and then like he left them there was a video message that said "I accept." Like he challenged.
Yeah, that
him
was
to
at
show up
Fastlane.
at a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was weird. But anyways, so next question.
Oh boy.
Yes or no?
7.
Is he number 30 in the Royal Rumble?
Oh boy. I mean, he could be. That would be awesome, and I would dig it. But I'm gonna say I'm 50-50 on that one.
Well, that would be amazing. But, all right, let's just get to the real question. Yes or no, is this leading to a WrestleMania match?
It's leading to something.
Leading to something.
Everything leads to something.
I think the early idea would probably be maybe even be in the Hall of Fame this year. I think right now probably Batista. I don't know. The way he retired last year, it seems like he'd want to be like a first ballot. So I could see Batista kind of headlining this year. It's in Florida, so make of that what you will. Hogan, the whole NWO. I think they're going to do something with Hogan again, so I could see NWO. But I don't know if Punk maybe wants to dip his toe in the water. CM Punk and Batista are buddies. Maybe CM Punk inducts Batista, but you got to figure an Evolution member would be favored over that.
Right. Or even Ray.
Or Ray. That'd be a good one, too. So I think, I don't know, if it's not this year, I mean, you got to assume by the following year. I'm going to just go ahead and say, this is probably leading to an eventual in-ring return. Not a GM of Raw or
nothing. I think that's almost a safe bet that eventually we'll see him in ring. It depends on how soon. I mean,
yeah, there's the story. I'll quote him from Fightful. There's a story that somebody high name in WWE says if Punk does not appear during Survivor Series weekend, they've royally effed up. I don't think so. It's in a week. You know, to convince him in a week to show up, that's not going to be a royal F up. That's that's kind of pushing it to kind of be like he's got to be on next week, unless
they've been talking for longer.
Right, and there's more than meets the eye,
which there always is.
That's why the whole Fox thing and WWE wouldn't like it, and they wouldn't approve. It's like no, they know well aware what Fox is doing, and Fox knows what WWE is doing. This $1 billion deal ain't for nothing. And I wonder how much of that $1 billion CM Punk is getting just to show up.
Well, I mean, they've got it, right?
And I do love how Renee Young said, I can stop lying about it. You're here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you watched. Did you watch any of the YouTube behind-the-scenes videos?
I didn't I watched the one that happened that they shot right after the backstage. So, like, the one where Renee was saying she can stop lying, they were hugging all that. I did not watch the one where he was sneaking in. I saw a screenshot of it, and he's basically, like, in a purple scarf and headband. And,
yeah, they put, like, a scarf around him or something. But that one is 7 minutes. I think it was earlier today or whatever day it was. But that one's pretty good. It shows him getting into his car, like, 2 hours before and, saying, I'd be lying if I said I'm not nervous and all this stuff.
Aww.
And then they brought him to, like, his own boardroom where he just watched the, half of the show and stuff. And then he came to it, and then his quote was, the producer guy's like, he was like 3 or 4 minutes away, and he was walking up to the area, and the guy's like, "Are you ready to break the internet? He's like, "I'm not gonna break the internet. I'm gonna break the world."
Oh.
And then sure enough, he walks out, and then one of the girls is like, "Watch your step" or something. There was like a step up to the stage or whatever.
Okay.
So. And then the music hit, and then somebody told him there would be smoke, so he's like, "Smoke." And then the music hit, and this girl went like that, gave him the cue, and then he just came out and did his little line and teased for next week.
See you next week.
So the big question on the actual backstage
are they on
show,
Tuesdays?
Yeah, Tuesday nights.
See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. So the big question now is, not about any of the in-ring stuff or Mania or all that crap. That can be figured out later. But in terms of the backstage show itself, do you think he'll call it down the middle? Is he going to be like the, Simon
he's
Cowell?
He's going to be the honesty guy.
He's going to
absolutely
rip it when it does. Because Booker and Renee Young and Paige, from what I've seen, they do kind of like take shots, but they're just kind of towing the company line a little bit.
Right. I think CM Punk is going to be, even if, it could be scripted, I think he'll have his say in the script, and it'll come off as he is the voice of reason. He's the tell it like it is, not like you want to hear it type guy. Because, Paige was right. That is what brought him to fame, that pipe bomb that shook the world. That's what really
not what you want to hear, what you need to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
So Punk also said in that video that Fox sold him on the other. He didn't want to do commentary. He thought Fox wanted him to do commentary.
Yeah, right.
It was as an analyst, as the quote-unquote expert of WWE, and then he was sold by Fox of saying, we have Troy Aikman for football, we have Alex Rodriguez for baseball, we want CM Punk for wrestling. So that's kind of high praise.
That's a big compliment.
So even if they were just feeding him BS to accept the offer, that's still
because
suck it up.
That's people. That's a guy that people still relate to. So when, just like, people still remember the Troy Aikman days, I still hate him from all of the times that he beat Brett Favre and my Packers all those years.
We love Brett Favre.
Love Brett Favre. But anyways, so he's a guy that people still remember, still relate to. So bringing him in as the quote unquote expert, I mean, that's a brilliant move by Fox, and you gotta take that. I mean, you're right up there with Super Bowl winners and Heisman Trophy winners.
Yeah, he took that as big praise of like he's the voice or whatever. Then and that carried a lot of weight.
Right,
it's like almost like he took like a responsibility onto himself. Like, okay, now when I say something, like it's gonna mean something. So, any final thoughts on Punk, or now we're going to wait till Tuesday, which I assume people are going to tune in now and actually watch the show.
I was half tempted to press record on my DVR.
Half tempted?
Yeah, half tempted.
Punk has you half tempted.
I don't know. I've been watching too much Orange Cassidy. I don't really full-ass things anymore. I kind of have.
I have a small nitpick about Mr. OC on Dynamite this week. And speaking of AEW,
I love that guy.
We're going to talk about Full Gear now.
Full Gear.
Gear. Full disclosure.
Yeah, same here. I know.
Neither of us bought it.
Yeah, I'm regretting that I didn't buy it, but like,
Are you?
Yeah, from what I read, I mean, it sounded like I did catch some of the blips. I mean, that last match was apparently just
last match was lights out. I
just
think
unbelievable.
I think the report early is that it just did lower pay-per-view buys than the previous one, which I think did lower than the previous one. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
So just about or just below it. And I don't know. The last pay-per-view was before having TNT exposure. So
Right.
wouldn't you have thought
You thought it would
a
go
million viewers or a little under on TNT now that buys would have gone up?
You'd hope so. I don't know. It's just maybe it's that time of the year. Maybe it's the. You know what I'm thinking,
and Cody Jericho was definitely a big time main event, and I thought the build to it was like amazing, great, awesome. So the fact that the buys went down a little bit, I'm not going to say is concerning or worrying a little bit, but I mean, yeah, before they had only the exposure on the internet and the buzz and all that with Moxley coming in and everything with that, but now you would think with 1 million viewers on TNT and all that, I don't know, I definitely thought it'd go up. And at a $50 price point.
Well, a good buddy of mine, RN80 at AJB's 1080, just so you know.
Okay.
Love you, brother. He made a good point. He said something like to the lines of maybe we've been spoiled by the WWE Network, where we only pay $10 a month.
We
and
definitely
we get them
have.
all, and coming up to like $50 per pay-per-view, 60 probably, 50, 60, something like that. I mean, that's... You're kind of asking a lot, and doing that every other month, it's like...
Yeah, I think they've already said they have something for January coming up.
It's like, I think about it, and it's like, I can, stay informed for free, and yeah, catch the GIFs and the replays and stuff like that, and not actually watch it live. That kind of sucks, but at the same time, I mean, that's saving me $50.
I do think the flip side to it is... the shows have been, I thought, pretty good each Wednesday.
Yeah, I've loved the shows.
So it's no longer like a novelty. Before the cable show was, hey, if I want to see AEW, I got to buy the pay-per-view. Now it's, hey, it's on every week Wednesday, and they're pretty good. So what am I paying for? The same quality I get for free on Wednesday?
But that being said, after reading the results and seeing the types of matches that they put on pay-per-view, it's really kind of, like I said, I regret it. Like, I'm... seriously considering buying the next one, like especially what they did this past week where Jon Moxley was issuing that challenge, and then Darby Allin says, I accept.
We'll get to that.
Okay, I'm just saying, but that made me think if that's a pay-per-view match, yeah, I'm thinking I might buy that one.
But the problem with that is they've already announced it for next week Wednesday.
Yeah, and then they did that later, and I'm
like, man.
But who knows? Maybe that's leading to they
Right.
can't contain themselves on TV, just like Omega and Moxley couldn't do it on
just
TV.
a brawl to start, and
and it continues on like that. And
all right, so
poor Darby Allin's gonna
another
man.
draw like Cody.
Oh my God, that's gonna be.
So so we did not actually see this, so we're gonna just kind of do the results here, and I guess comment what we can. Britt Baker won on the buy-in. I think it's called the buy-in.
Yeah.
Any surprise there?
Not really. I mean, she's obviously the handpicked. Something or other.
What did you think of Brandy and this Kong thing with the whole knife and the cutting the hair?
Yeah, it's strange. It's intriguing, and I'm gonna keep tuning in. I'm curious to see where this is all going. But I mean, it's obviously Brandy's a puppeteer, and Awesome Kong is the death machine. I love her music. 8 Million Ways to Die, and she's one.
I think it's a cool little throwback to, if you remember, the beginning of the Karma videos.
Yeah.
Where they had the little doll, and it was her kind of ripping the Barbie dolls apart, and now she's coming out
that's
ripping
right.
the blondes, and it's her taking out the pretty girls.
Pretty awesome looking knife too.
Yeah. First saw, I'm like, what is she gonna do with that?
Yeah, well,
all right.
Someone's gonna get stabbed eventually. You realize this?
Is that where we're leading to?
That's what we're going to. I mean, mousetraps.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll get to that too. So Santana and Ortiz defeated the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
I thought the right call. This goes back to the whole Young Bucks, Tony Khan's been wanting the Young Bucks to win in past matches, and then Young Bucks have been saying, no, we should lose. So I thought this was the right call. Okay. Young Bucks will be, whatever. It's kind of like Cody without the title. He doesn't necessarily need it, and I'll get to that later, but there's more to that.
Yeah.
So I like the idea that Santana Ortiz, and then they did the Rock and Roll Express thing again.
Right,
Don't
right.
know what they're
that
hanging
was
around
nice,
for.
well, to deliver a Canadian destroyer, obviously. What a Canadian destroyer that was.
Well, obviously. I hope they didn't pay them $1 billion to do that.
Wow.
So up next was, I think,
promise to cover their surgeries later.
one of the, I would say, missteps of the pay-per-view. Results, again, did not see any of the matches. Hangman Page beat Pac.
Yeah.
This was made even more pointless a few days later when
Pac beat Page. And called it for the series, I guess.
I guess. Why did Page win here?
50-50?
And what do we talk about WWE about?
50-25.
Unless it's Kofi Brock. All right, so we got Sean Spears. Remember him?
The chairman.
The chairman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Coming
10.
out to Crickets.
10.
He fought Joey Janela.
I heard that was pretty crazy, though.
And Sean Spears won.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the match with Cody, like, I think I mentioned this, but like Cody, and then there was the Arn run-in, and
right.
like everything happened, and then it was like, oh yeah, Sean Spears was there too.
Oh yeah, he's there too. He's almost getting the afterthought treatment.
Yeah, a little bit. So they need to figure out what they're doing with him. The AEW Tag Team Championship. So Private Party versus Lucha Bros versus SCU.
SCU.
Any thoughts on no title change?
I mean, you're adding legacy to the title, so I can understand with the champs retaining.
Yeah, I thought maybe Lucha Bros would kind of go to it, but with the whole Daniels and I don't know what he's dressed up as, or the face paint thing.
Oh, he was pretending to be Pentagon.
Is that it? Are we getting a singles feud?
It might. That'd be killer.
Are they going to kind of break away a little bit? Because I think they said they're not Horseman rules.
No horse. Freebird. No Freebird.
Freebird.
rules.
That's it. My bad.
So Sky and Kazarian are the champs.
Okay. So all right. I mean, that'd make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
So Rio defeated.
Emi Sakura.
Yeah. So any thoughts on this? I thought this the build was just completely thrown together.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a build that should have been told over a couple of weeks instead of announced
definitely
the week before, and then here you go.
And I did see on Twitter the predictable reply was they talked about it on Being the Elite and Dark. And
right.
Like, I'm not watching those.
Yeah, you gotta put it on your main show if you're putting it on the pay-per-view.
You have 2 hours. If you don't want to promote the women, then that's fine. But then don't tell me about this mentor-student story a few days before. And,
I just found out about it the last, Dynamite, and it's like...
and then I think Rio lost the tag match on the Dynamite before.
Yes.
So like, hey, the champ's vulnerable. She could lose.
Emmy actually pinned her, I believe.
Right, and it's like, no, sorry. This was way too thrown together. And again, to be fair, this is something we've seen from WWE where the champs will lose non-title before the pay-per-view,
right?
And then
they retain.
So yeah, not sure about that. I think one of their weaker points so far has been the women's division. So hopefully they kind of kick that up a little bit, maybe with Kong, maybe with Britt Baker.
There you go.
Allie got a cup of coffee on Dynamite, so maybe
you got that Shanna and Jamie Hayter. They seem to put on a pretty decent match, the last one that I saw.
I like them. They got plenty of people there, so they just need the time now. So
write some stories, guys. Come on.
AEW Championship. This was kind of the big one here. Jericho and Cody.
Yeah.
This is one where I do wish I had seen.
Yeah, a lot of decent spots. There was, I don't know if it was a miscalculated thing right off the bat with the dive over the ramp there, but boy, that didn't look like it ended well.
No, it did not. So this was the one that was teased to go 60 minutes with the judges, if you remember.
That's right. We had Dean Malenko and
Arn Anderson.
Yeah.
Great Muta. 2 other guys.
Oh, Great Muta?
Yeah, there's Great Muta, Arn Anderson, and Dean Malenko.
I didn't know that was Great Muta. They didn't call him Great Muta, did they?
Yeah, there was the funny part of there was a tweet I saw. I wish I could remember who it was to give credit, but someone was sitting behind him, and never once did anyone write anything down on their little booklet of notes for the winner. So I was like, at least play tic-tac-toe or something.
Yeah, right.
So this was teased to go 60 minutes. I never thought it would. They weren't going to do a draw and have the judges. That'd be
right.
I mean, even AEW knows that'd be pretty lame. So they never got there, and no way these guys were going 60 minutes anyways. But in the end, MJF.
Yeah.
So
we knew this was coming.
We finally got it.
I mean, it was kind of, I don't know if I'm alone on this one, but it was kind of a poor build-up to it because he was a monster heel coming in. He was cocky, arrogant. You know, everybody hated him right off the bat. And you got Cody, who's a face, and he's hanging out with Cody. So do we like him? Do we not like him?
I think
obviously he's going to turn on him.
Yeah, the idea, I think, is to feel sympathy for Rhodes, that he did trust this, even though all the signs were there. And we've all had a friend or a buddy who everyone else, kind of doesn't think the world of, but you're like, no, he's a great guy. So I think that was the story of, no, he's really cool, all this stuff. Yeah, and then sure enough, he's been a jerk all
I didn't buy it for 1 second. I never liked the guy. He was, a great worker, great heel, because I never liked his character. I always knew that he was going to turn on him. So I don't know. I wasn't shocked. It was just okay, we finally did it.
Yeah, and the idea that there wasn't necessarily a tease to it,
right,
is that, it's kind of best that it was out of nowhere versus in the weeks to build, MJF didn't stare at him or give him little winks and nods or whatever.
Oh, they did some of the pay-per-views. There was
did a little
where
bit.
he was holding the chair and he looked at Cody.
That was great.
And then he didn't,
Wasn't that the debut Dynamite?
Yeah, I think so.
At the end of the brawl, he came out with the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do remember that. So the big point is Jericho retains. Do you like that? Good call?
Yeah, I think so.
I did write a 411mania.com column.
Cheap plug.
And the idea was Jericho's going to be going back to New Japan. And I forgot who he's facing, so my bad. But he's probably not going to win that one. So I wonder if they don't want him to be champion to go to another company and lose. So the idea was he's probably going to drop the title before going back to New Japan.
Yeah.
But then he retained. So there's still 2 months till we get there.
Right.
So it wouldn't shock me if there is a Dynamite World title match announced before it. And then it's Jericho might actually lose this out of nowhere here. But
yeah,
for now, I agree. Jericho retaining is the right idea. We will get back to him when we talk about Dynamite. But the other
I was just thinking about this, though. Jericho, man. He first ever undisputed champion.
No, boy.
First ever AEW champion. That guy's got some accolades.
He's got some accolades, definitely. And then I think I saw the stat. He's as old as, I think, Hogan when Hogan came back in 2002.
Oh, really?
You don't think about it? Hogan, the old man's back. Well,
yeah, you don't see that with Jericho.
No, so it's very interesting. And the flip side, of course, Cody no longer can go for the title.
At all.
Is this...
The Young Bucks even said, they put up on Twitter, can't change a stipulation.
Yeah, Cody, I think, did post, no, I don't care if it was a scarf or a towel thrown in. I don't care what it was.
Right.
I lost. I came up short. So here are my little thoughts on this. First of all, you mentioned it, but Young Bucks also posted something about how everything reset each year. Did you see this?
No, I did not see that one.
Wins and losses now will reset every January. Yeah, the idea is that it's like a football season. Your records start new each season, right?
Okay, so do they have an off season?
Well, right. Is there a Super Bowl? Is there?
Right.
So what if
Do we have
somebody
a
wins
grand
in
championship?
If somebody has a big match in December, you can't then mention it in January because it's 0-0-0.
0-0-0.
But I will say though, okay, first of all, that's stupid. So again, with this records and rankings garbage, there at some point. I mean, remember when Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc were in number one contenders?
Yeah.
So, anyways, so that's gonna blow up in their face if it hasn't already. But I will say the one good thing is that kind of then opens it up when they do have a new signing who has a 0-0-0 record.
Right.
They're never going to catch up to a guy that's, 15-2.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's fine. And I get the idea of sports, Tony Khan and his analytics and all that crap. I'm sure it's a numbers thing that he loves. Right. But no, I don't like that. But I think the Cody stipulation will stick regardless of the yearly garbage like that.
Yeah.
And the reason why it gets a little emotional, but it was something with his dad. And he has talked about this for years. And one of his, if not his only goal, was to win a world title when his dad was alive.
Right.
Obviously, Dusty passed away.
Yep, so he's not going to do it.
So that kind of took away the moment. And, not to be straightforward about it, but, once, Dusty was dead, then that opportunity to have that moment in the ring
is gone.
It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not saying his world title win would feel empty or forced or anything, but I think he understands the comparisons to a Triple H, a Jeff Jarrett,
Right.
a Jerry Lawler, a guy who runs the company and is world champ.
Right.
Whether
Yeah.
it's deserved or not, and let's be honest, he's been a super big time face and super cheered. You couldn't argue if he won the title. You'd say, he's popular. Everyone loves him and he's great. So
Yeah, he's earned it.
you can't argue against it, but again, the perception would be it's the same as Young Bucks. If they win the tag titles, it's fine. They're the Young Bucks.
Yeah, right.
But just the perception of, aren't these two guys executives? in the
aren't
company?
they the tag team division leaders?
Yeah, aren't they setting all this up?
Yeah, exactly.
So I do think the
Like
stipulation
Vince McMahon winning the title.
Hey, he got dragged through it, bloodied, placed on top of him by Stone Cold, and then when he was finally conscious, he vacated the title. So
Yeah,
he
I'm
didn't
just saying.
technically win it, but he did. So anyways,
But he did.
But he did.
He got to put it around his waist.
Did he? Oh yeah, he did. I remember he came out the next week on Raw wearing a suit and doing a strut.
Yep.
Then he just stopped, and then he
There
opened
it
up
is.
the suit.
Yep.
And then that
10
led to
days.
a great six-pack challenge at Unforgiven 1999, which Triple H won.
I was
it right
about to
back.
say that was Triple H.
Yep. So anyways, a little history lesson there. But anyways, I think the Cody stipulation should, I think at some point though, he can always turn heel and be like, I lied.
Yeah.
And then everyone
Yeah,
would boo
that
him.
could be. Yeah.
So,
Good way to get heat.
right. And then it's right back. And then he could just sit there and say, I lied. You hate it? Too bad. You
Yep.
know, and then that's how he does the heel turn. Because eventually, I'm sure he will turn heel. It seems like he won't.
I mean,
But at some point, everyone kind of gets their
even
turn.
Hogan did it. So
Even Hogan did it. So the night was not really over because then we had the unsanctioned.
didn't count.
Didn't count. So that is something I'll get to first, or second. I will let you go first.
Let me go first.
Without without seeing the actual match, but just knowing about all the wildness and all the craziness.
yeah.
What were your thoughts on Moxley, who defeated Kenny Omega?
I like Moxley, so I'm cool with that. Poor Kenny just can't seem to keep a streak alive.
He just can't get going.
I genuinely worry for their safety sometimes. Like they do this stuff, and it's like that they're not going to be content with saying, "Okay, that we did that, we're good now." That they're going to try and push it, and I mean,
They're never good.
we had broken glass. I thought that was over the top. Like I broke a glass guitar piece that I use a slide.
Okay.
And I immediately vacuum that stuff up. I don't mess with broken glass.
Yeah, I have. By the way, that's a good song, "Walking on Broken Glass."
Oh Lord.
I have two quick glass stories. One, I was in the back seat when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and a person turned into my mom was driving the car. I think we were carpooling, so I actually had somebody with me. Anyways, we were 4 or 5, whatever school we were going to, kindergarten, preschool. I don't even know
Yeah.
it. Anyways, car pulled out. They said the sun was in their eyes. It was totally their fault.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure we got something out of it. I don't remember all this. Anyways, doesn't matter. They hit it. The window smashed. And you can laugh all you want, but I still tell this story 20, however many old I am, however many years later. I swallowed a piece of glass.
Really?
Now go ahead and laugh. Call me a liar.
No,
I've been hearing from my family my whole life. I
mean-
swear this thing broke, and this was actually like one of my first memories, because you don't remember when you're 1
Yeah,
or 2,
right.
you don't remember any of that crap. So tiniest shard ever is super tiny. I was right by the window.
Yeah.
And yes,
Flew in your mouth, and you just swallowed.
and I swallowed it. That was it. Nothing happened. There was no big fallout. So again, call me a liar.
No, man. I mean, that's perfectly reasonable.
And the other story is, like you said, when something breaks, you probably should clean it up right away. So super drunk at a party, however many years ago in high school. Yeah, sorry, Mom, I was
We
at
all
a
have
party
these
drunk at high
stories.
school. Yeah.
Weren't we all? Sorry, Mom. You
Sorry,
knew it,
Mom.
though.
Yeah.
I told you about it.
I wasn't studying it. So, no, I'm just kidding. So, super drunk. I don't know if I caused it or somebody caused it or if me stumbling around, but bottle shattered,
Oh, boy.
spilled all over. Of course, everyone stops. Like, what the heck? All this
Alcohol
stuff.
abuse.
Alcohol.
Party foul.
And like an idiot, I start picking it up with my hands.
Oh.
Immediately, again, maybe one too many. Hey, I was spending the night, so
Immediately
no driving.
regret that decision.
No driving. Anyways, my thumb and finger immediately just started gushing blood
Of course.
because I'm sitting there picking up glass.
Right.
And I go and run to the bathroom, and I'm pretty sure one of the girls was in there, and it's like, I got to get in here. I'm sorry. So she's kind of like, oh, hold on. So anyways, I go in there and just stick it under the faucet. And I guess at one point, either the faucet turned off or something, and somebody thought it was still on because that's how much was coming out. That somebody said it was the faucet going is like, no, that's my finger bleeding out.
Dude.
Yeah, so my thumb was the faucet. So anyways, I think we just bandaged it up and that was it.
Oh,
so
wow.
Anyway, those are my glass stories, but back to Moxley and Omega.
Yeah, well, and then we got anchor chains and a table of mouse traps.
And barbed wire.
And then a bed of barbed wire. I mean...
All right, so the real
Good
question
Lord.
in any of this is, did it pass the point of entertaining? Did it kind of go to, okay, just end this?
Well,
it was like 40-something minutes long.
Right. I wasn't watching live. I've only caught replays and GIFs and whatnot. And it's GIF with a G.
GIF?
Because it's graphic, not graphic. Thank you.
But it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. So anyways, I did read some tweets and stuff like that, and I know Renee Young was not happy one bit.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of the wives are happy watching this.
I believe it was Brian Alvarez who said that this was not his cup of tea. Like,
I don't care what his cup of tea is.
Well, he's been around and he knows what he likes and stuff like that. And yeah, we like some of the hardcore and stuff. Will you stop? He's in the industry, so but I from what I seen, a lot of people reporting were just like, I get it, but
was it
hard
one
to
step
watch.
too far?
Might have been just a bit much.
Okay,
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't watch it live, so I can't really comment.
Okay, for what it's worth, I liked Moxley winning.
Yep.
Because now Kenny's back to
Poor Kenny.
Poor Kenny killed Kenny.
You bastard.
So I like the idea of Moxley winning. And my one thing I said that I was going to get to,
Yeah.
he kind of made light of it on Wednesday, but it didn't even count. It didn't even matter.
Didn't count. Yep.
So the brawl was just to inflict pain on each other. And
yeah, apparently they just hate each other that much.
They hate each other that much. And, you can't even go to it. I mean, they're going to probably mention it and all this stuff, but it didn't even count. I don't know. At some point, it's kind of like Money in the Bank to me, or even Inside the Cell. I get it. You want to be thrown off. You want to have the iconic moment.
Right.
I get it. We're all fans of it, so you want to be a part of history.
But it should lead to something.
It should lead to something, definitely. Not that it's a waste in a week and they're like hugging and, buddies. Yeah. I mean, they won't be, but you know what I mean. And then the idea that they can't do this. I think there's already been 3 lights out matches. The company just started a few months ago or in the beginning of the year. There's already been 3 of them. They kind of not have to do a lights out match for a long time. And I hope these guys don't do this again, but based on the Darby Moxley.
Yeah, they are.
So, no, each one will lose its effect more and more. And, yeah, I mean, at some point, just watching the Renee Young tweets and all that.
Poor girl. But she knew what she married into.
Oh, she definitely knows. And I'm pretty sure, I think it was Moxley still gets his insurance from Renee Young under the...
That is beautiful.
I think Tony Khan even confirmed that
if he worked that out, mad props to him.
So I don't know if
is amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like him or if it's from Renee
That's
Young
the whole reason. That's the whole reason he's doing these matches. Just to stick it just a little bit more.
I think he's just a madman. That's why he's doing them. I don't think...
Yeah, but WWE has to pay for it. Ha ha. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow.
All right. So I have a little note here on the Full Gear thing. So again, repeat, we did not see it, but I believe this went with the buy-in like 4.5 hours. They had said they wanted to lower them, but again, the 40 minutes after was technically not a part of it. Would you like to see these get shorter? Is anything need to change if they have a January pay-per-view? Are there anything that you want to see tweaked with their pay-per-view presentation? Anything like an idea that they could maybe boost buys? Is there something they could do?
I don't know. Just tell better stories, really, for me. Like, get me invested more. Like,
yeah, I think to bank off that, I think the whole pay-per-view, even Santana Ortiz versus Young Bucks, it was like, all right, there's not too much build there. I see anything that cares. I don't care about the attacks before and all that.
And I think we need another title.
There it is.
I think we need a title for the mid-card guys.
This had been asked a lot, and they've kind of tiptoed around it. Cody had said he doesn't like the term mid-card title.
Yeah, but we need another title.
Because, when
regardless
you
of
win the
whatever you
IC
call it.
title, it's not the mid-card. It's, hey, this is awesome. It's the
Right.
Intercontinental Championship.
But we need another title, basically. And I don't know if I'm really down with a television championship per se, because, I mean, that kind of makes it stick to the television side of things, and I don't know what the rules are for that. But I don't know. I think they need a secondary or, something else for people to get excited
Well,
about.
there's a battle royal for a diamond ring or something.
Yeah. I mean, is that similar to the Cody's Ring of Honor?
Or is it a bronze Rumble green title?
Yeah, right. I mean, I guess it's
Or the
it's
trophy of Andre the
memorabilia.
Giant.
Put it up on eBay and get $50,000 for it.
Outside of Cody, Jericho, which I thought was great. Yeah, not a whole lot of build to this one. I mean, Joey Janela and Sean Spears was thrown on there. We know about the Riho thing. That was just thrown out there. And even the Kenny Omega and John Moxley, obviously great build, but it didn't matter.
And it's a little weird because I had all this time to build up stuff. Why didn't we?
Yeah, they've definitely had time to do it all and really didn't. So we're going to go to Dynamite now because
Dynamite.
we did not see Full Gear, but we both did see Dynamite. I watched it.
Yeah, I did too. Just today, but I watched it.
So it starts out with poor Kenny.
Poor Kenny.
With his back just absolutely destroyed.
Oh, yeah.
And that made me kind of...
pretty black eye.
Yes, his back kind of made me confirm, is this really worth it, guys?
Right.
I mean, you just see that, and then what? They're going to do it again in a month or two?
Yeah, well,
I mean that for long-term health, I don't... Like Moxley going to Japan and having a 12-match tournament.
Right. Maybe we're not worried about long-term here. Maybe this isn't a long-term company.
They got 1 year. Shut it down.
Well, no, but, I mean, Moxley will be there for 2 years, and do his thing and get completely beat up and...
WWE will resign
pay him well, and then get him out of there. And Kenny Omega do it for 2-3 years, and then pay him well and put him in the office. And we'll just keep changing him out every 2 years. Chris Jericho has 2 years on him, and then he'll drop it and do something else. And
Yeah. So Kenny Omega was pretty much told you can't compete,
You're
but
not
Moxley
competing.
he's all right, he's good.
Exactly.
And then Nakazawa
Michael
and
Nakazawa.
Rio were sitting there with him. So this led to the opening. It was John Moxley defeating Nakazawa. Was it much of a match?
No, it was real quick. He did a couple of flips and moving around and whatnot. Caught him with the which we're calling the paradigm shift.
Yes.
DDT, and that was it. Done.
And I will say I liked the Nakazawa not acting like a goof. I like the oil just being chucked, let's do this.
Yeah.
And sticking up for him. So I thought that was cool. So then Moxley, he says, so that one counts, right?
Yeah, right. That one counts.
Making light of it, obviously.
Yeah, it was bell to bell, so the lights were on.
They were on. So he says he respected Kenny Omega, all that BS, and then we will get to it later, but pretty much said there's nobody in the back that can touch me.
I was expecting somebody to come out right then and there, but apparently not.
Not yet. So Dark Order. This is apparently
Evil
still
Uno
a thing.
talked. Evil Uno spoke.
Yeah, where's Stu?
Right?
These guys don't do it for me, sorry. So Jurassic Express.
Well, I mean, they're a good heel team to put up there when you need to
lose?
pop up. Yeah, to lose or to just cause a little bit of, anger so that you can bring back a certain dinosaur in a very cool way.
Yeah, Dark Order did win, and obviously this led to...
Luchasaurus, my boy. He's back with the tail whip and all.
Yes. What did he hit 3 guys at once, I think?
Yeah, I actually called my wife out to come watch him. I was like, this dude is awesome. You have to see him. And did not. Looked like he was a little ginger on that injured leg that he's got there. Like maybe it's not entirely healed yet.
Yeah, I like that he didn't come back for a match.
Right.
Just get him back
He
in the
definitely
groove.
he made an impact, no pun intended. But it was nice to see him and go Luchasaurus, man.
Yeah, I loved it.
about it.
Obviously, the Big Brother connection, so that always works for me.
Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
Jungle Boy Jack, as JR likes to call him.
He didn't do it this week. I was proud of him.
I definitely heard him say it.
Oh, this week? Really?
Yeah, and I think
I
think he even called Full Gear Fully Loaded a few times.
Oh, wow.
He has his moments. But anyways, I like this. Luchasaurus, I guess he's back. He's been, out a month or two? Month and a half?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
I don't think he's appeared on Dynamite yet.
Yeah, so I like that he's back, and hey, I was going to make some dynamite pun, but what's the point? So, Sean Spears versus Peter Avalon versus Darby Allin.
Because why not?
I guess they needed a librarian thing.
I mean, we had a thing to do, so
I guess
you want to go on TV? Sure.
So this felt obviously pointless. Joy
With
Janela got
with Leva Bates.
well, right, yes,
Blue
she
pants.
was the highlight of it all. So I think this was just pointless to get to Darby Allin.
Yeah.
And
It was a build up to Darby Allin, absolutely, and then he says, "I accept." John Moxley, I accept. So yeah, we got John Moxley, who is legitimately insane and will do anything. You got Darby Allin, who doesn't give a
blank.
oh boy, here we go again.
All right, one word. Is this going to be more crazy than...
Yeah, it's going to hurt, dude. Because
Doesn't he have a cough? It's a coffin where he just goes backwards.
yeah, he basically does like a backdrop off the top rope and then like crosses his arms as if he's like being laid to rest. It's awesome. It's wonderful. I love watching it every time.
It's awesome.
I am legitimately afraid for their safety. Yeah. Somebody's going to get hurt and there's going to be
Insurance paid out.
It's going to be bad.
So minus my concerns that these two have no limitations and Tony Khan ain't going to step in and say anything. So
Lights out.
I will...
We just turn the lights out and look the other way. That's what we do.
Yeah,
here.
have the coffin ready. I'll
Yeah.
just say I love this when Darby Allin just said John Moxley, and the crowd just went nuts because they knew right away. It was like, oh my gosh.
My.
So up next, we had Nyla Rose. She's still there. She exists.
She's back, yeah.
Nyla Rose is back.
Doing it. Doing a thing. And
she defeated Danny.
yeah, she tried. That girl tried, but Nyla just ran her right over.
No, that wasn't going to go well. So Awesome Kong and Brandy, we mentioned it earlier, but she cut Allie's hair.
Yeah,
I
because
guess Allie needed a haircut.
I mean, sometimes that one lock just gets in the way, and Awesome Kong was like, "I'm gonna go help her out."
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So MJF and Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I know the crowd ate this up. I don't know if this... I don't know.
It was eerily similar to a promo delivered by Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho in regards to Roman Reigns.
Yes, I do remember that when they were like thinking of who to blame or who's the worst, and then they both said Roman Reigns.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This almost got a little too silly. These guys are supposed to be hated heels, and then the crowd's like laughing along with them.
Yeah.
So I would have liked MJF to just cut a fiery promo and all this, and
I mean,
he did get to it eventually.
Yeah, and apparently we're throwing language rules right out the window for the most part.
No, TNT doesn't care if S word or...
Apparently not, because they were letting them fly.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Let them fly and all that. It's cool, but at some point, like, are you just saying it to say it?
Right. Yeah. Are you trying to be shocking, or are you just, are you just really emotional?
Saying. I think MJF did even say BS like once or twice just to kind of say it when he didn't really have to.
Yeah.
I think he's just kind of like almost smiling on the inside that I can say it, so I'm going to say it.
So I'm going to say it. Might as well.
So eventually, Cody did come out.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't going to sit there and take all this. And
freshly stapled Cody. Let's
freshly stapled. Yeah, I saw that close up.
That thing was not pretty.
No, it was not. So a little bit of a weird looking power slam first by Cody.
Let's not even call that a power slam. Let's call Matthew and see what he thinks.
He might know because then Jericho immediately called it again. So then they got to it. But
we got it. Yeah.
I did like the run in. I'm not sure why Wardlow is his name. Wardlow decided to show up.
What is that dude?
So is he going to get the feud with Rhodes? I would assume MJF, and Wardlow maybe be like his bodyguard? Is that what this is? Kind of the big guy to protect?
I mean, that's what it looks like, but I guess I thought MJF was better than all of us, and we knew it. So why does he need a bodyguard?
I thought he was too, and for the record, did he join the Inner Circle?
See, that's the up for debate. Because
or does he want to join? Or does he want him to join? Or
who's joining what?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't necessarily enjoy the first part of it as much as MJF and Jericho are entertaining.
Yeah.
But I loved it when Cody came out. I'm not sure what Wardlow's doing, but kind of like Jack Hager. Is that it?
Yeah, you got it.
Just like him, though, I think as a henchman or whatever, that's probably the best spot for him.
For now.
Yeah, get him out there.
He'll make his way up there, yeah.
So up next we had Pac defeating Paige. So
okay,
all right.
I mean,
so Pac wins the feud.
A good match. I mean, it was a good match. I felt bad for fast forwarding through a little bit of it.
You felt bad?
I did feel bad.
Then why didn't you go back and watch it?
Because I had things to do.
All right. So, yeah, fine match. Obviously,
Mainly
what
take
you'd
a nap.
Yes. Fine match. Obviously, what you'd expect from these two.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think Paige should have won.
The only reason why I
pay-per-view.
fast forward is because we've seen it enough. Like, it's...
I believe is it the third or fourth time already?
Yeah, I think it's the third. And, like, I mean, not that the matches are all the same, but they kind of are. Like, they're good and they're intriguing and whatnot, but they don't... You know, the first one was awesome. Second one was the same. And the third one, okay, I've seen this before.
Yeah, so up next we had, I thought the feud would kind of be over, but I guess Santana and Ortiz and the Young Bucks are brawling all over the
Yeah,
ring.
I guess they just weren't done yet. And, boy, Proud and Powerful really does not like the Young Bucks. They
love that powerbomb spot up on that stage.
Yeah, they love that. And apparently
with the
those
big
boys
X
were going to
on
die. It was a zero this time.
Zero.
Circle, yeah.
Right.
Bullseye.
They're going to die? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Santana goes with the camera and he goes, now these boys are going to die. And I'm like, oh, man, we're serious.
Yeah, so that is my actually one small nitpick because during the brawl we had to see Orange Cassidy standing in the bathroom staring. And I believe there was even a shot of John Moxley in the back just sitting there watching it all.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You got to kind of zoom in. He's literally just sitting on a chair.
I like the Orange Cassidy thing because that just sells his character even more. Like, what's your problem with that?
I like it for him. It obviously fits him. The crowd cheers. They love it. My one small thing is what you said. At the end, this is supposed to be a serious blood feud, huge brawl, and then they went for a laugh.
Yeah, but that's right in the middle of it.
So it's the whole when Cody was, giving his fiery promo with Tony Schiavone 2 weeks ago, which again was awesome. Probably one of the promos of the year. I'd have to go back and think of promos, but great. And then somebody came out and would make a poopy joke. It'd be like, oh well, there goes that moment. So not sure it fit, but again for Orange Cassidy, it definitely fit.
It definitely fit. The whole thing. It's perfect. Well done.
I didn't expect it. I didn't think
exactly.
It's like, wait, he's standing there. Like what?
And he's just like standing there. He's like, oh,
he's been standing there for an hour.
Now, had he come out and done like his little kicks, then I'd agree with you on that because then they're turning it. But having him just standing there, that's perfect because it's Orange Cassidy. That's what he does.
It's what he does.
It's kind of like the boogeyman, other than he doesn't eat worms and hit himself with a clock and
he's not coming to get you.
He's not coming to get you. He's just standing there.
He's just standing there.
He just doesn't care.
He ain't doing anything. Our main event.
It
was for the tag team championships.
Yeah.
So I guess Jericho wants all the gold.
All the gold.
So him and Sammy Guevara.
Hey, nice job.
SCU. So Jericho finally got pinned.
Yeah. It was bound to happen sooner or later, and what better way to do it than
Scorpio Sky and a roll-up. Is this his finisher, a roll-up? Is that the deal now?
Well, for now.
I think he's won 2 or 3 matches with the roll-up.
Hey, if it works, a win is a win, apparently. Unless it's lights out.
Yeah. So did you have any thoughts on this? Did you think the tag champs were going to lose?
No.
Jericho double?
No, I didn't think that. I think it was more to maybe get Jericho that L, but still keep him strong because, now he can say that he's champion, but he is fallible. So now you're always going to be questioning, is he going to lose the match? Is he not,
I like how afterwards he got upset with the steel chair and started throwing it. That was a little throwback to his WCW.
That's where my DVR cut out. I saw him throw 3 chairs in and then...
Yep, that was it. And he did that in WCW, so I wonder if he was just doing a little thing there. So
I like the little promo at the beginning of the show when he said, when he was with the whole MJF promo, or before, it wasn't beginning of the show, it was...
middle?
In the middle of the show. But where he was like... your parents saw me 25 years ago beating up Juventud Guerrero on WCW.
Yeah.
25 years later, here we are.
That was a nice little throwback. Didn't MJF say, who's Hoovy?
Yeah, who's Hoovy? And I was like, you didn't call him Hoovy. You know who he is.
That is funny. That is true.
Well done.
That was a nice little throwback there. Jericho likes to do that.
Yeah.
My question coming out of this, who is going to face Jericho next?
Me. No.
Are you in the top 5 rankings?
I should have been. No. I don't have a loss.
Undefeated.
I don't have a win either.
But. Hey, Snooki's undefeated at WrestleMania. So.
Oh, my God. So is Michael Cole.
He is. Yeah. Same show.
Right.
2011.
Let's see. Who would be in line?
Well, Pac is number 1 in the rankings if we care about that because Cody's number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess Pac would be the logical choice if we're going by the rankings.
Heel?
I mean, if we're going by the rankings, it shouldn't matter what's what. But I think if you're trying to keep the heel face thing, then
Well, Darby Allin and Jimmy Havoc can always have another number one contenders match.
They could.
Wasn't that a triple threat? Was someone else in that match? I think there was.
Janela. Joey Janela.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm. Because they did a lot of stapler.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, he stapled something to his head, I think.
Well, I will say this. First of all, Cody even being in the rankings. Again, the rankings and crap, that needs to go away.
Yeah,
They can talk about it and point out little facts, and win-loss records are fine, but when you're going to it and then things are not matching up at all of what they are, I have no idea who's facing Jericho. I would like to see him versus Pac. If you remember that match on Raw, which they stopped it when Neville, I think, broke his ankle or something.
Oh, yeah. That was a really bad
Didn't he yell
break.
at the referee to, end it or something?
I think so. I think he rolled him up.
Charles Robinson? Was
yeah,
that?
Jericho rolled him up and was like...
Lil Nage, counted or whatever.
Yeah.
They got a little shoving match there, but I would like to see it. I don't care if it's heel. I don't think AEW should care either.
Right.
If they need something for the January pay-per-view, obviously not one of their big ones. So if they just need a match to have, that'd be fine by me.
That's the logical way to go. If we're looking at the heel thing or heel face thing, then I guess you got people like Hangman Page again.
That
I don't
ain't
know.
happening. Yeah, I think the idea that
Moxley. But he's looking at Darby Allin's. But
I think
Moxley would be another person to throw in there, and then Jericho would be kind of like, oh crap, what do I do? Because how do you prepare for somebody like that?
Yeah, I think the Moxley Jericho thing there are definitely going to build up. Maybe to the next Vegas show next. I think was it Memorial Day weekend always?
No idea.
Okay, I think they said it'd be the same Memorial Day or whatever the May one is in Vegas each year.
Yeah.
So I think they are going to. I think that's kind of where they're going with all this.
Yeah.
And the fact that Pac beat, what's-his-face, Hangman Page again.
Yeah.
I didn't mean what's-his-face.
Yeah, you did.
Hey, you said Dean Malenko and two other guys as judges.
See? We both make mistakes.
Well, never mind. I was going to say something about Page and a mistake, but never mind.
Oh, boy.
Well, that he wanted whatever the pay-per-view was, Full Gear. I'm slipping. But anyways, I think the fact that Pac did decisively win on Dynamite, that pretty much was a number one contender spot, at least in my mind.
It looked like it.
So we're not going to talk about NXT because you did not watch it. I thought it was a very good show. Obviously, the big highlights were the ladder match with Io Shirai and Mia Yim. And Bayley did show up. Ooh. That was a big part of the invasion because throughout the show we saw a few people taken out.
Yeah.
And it was, it's Baszler and her crew and all this.
Right.
And at the end, it's been Bayley and Kaylee Ray from NXT UK also popped up.
Oh, yeah. Isn't she the women's champ? Yeah.
She is. So that was very cool. And I don't know if we need to discuss it. I don't know if it's, it seems the discussion's kind of died down a little bit, but Dynamite did win in the ratings.
Yeah.
A little bit more of a lead than they've had the past 2 weeks. And I think I had it on Twitter, but they started with like a 500,000 viewer lead over NXT, and each week it had gone 300,000, 200,000, 100,000, and then last week was 900,000. It literally got closer until last week, and then this week was kind of back a little bit. We'll see about next week if WWE decides to do something with, a Roman Reigns or something more with Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole, Seth Rollins, anybody, and, actually promote, hey, these guys are going to be on NXT. Yeah. There's also another ladder match next week on NXT again.
Oh, my.
It's, it's Dominic Dijakovic. Dominic Dijakovic.
Nice
versus Adam Cole, and it was the same as this week with the women. The winning team gets the advantage in more games. That's the point of it. So another ladder match. Not sure why we're having back-to-back ladder matches, but anyways, it's a little bit more. And then, like I said, I would assume they announced
Shawn Michaels is in charge.
Ladder matches every week.
Every week.
So I would assume they do something big with Raw and SmackDown, and maybe that happens. AEW has Darby Allin versus Moxley, which I don't know why, but they're doing that already, which hopefully, I don't know, hopefully they save something if this is leading to a pay-per-view.
I mean, they're going to have to. I mean, it's almost predictable what's going to happen. Those two guys are not going to be contained on TV, and you know that.
Or does Moxley win quick and say, Jericho, you're next?
Or there could be that.
Or they just kind of go right to it.
But you would think that with a character like Darby Allin, a character like Jon Moxley, they're going to go all out for that kind of thing. Like,
Did you say all out?
I did.
It'd
be Jon Moxley all beaten, bloodied, bruised, and picks up Mike Jericho. Yeah, like kind of when the
Is he drunk?
remember Brock Lesnar beat the crap out of him, and he was like, I challenge you to this fight, and he's like, hey, Brock, thanks.
Yeah, is that all you got?
Yeah.
I got a little scratch on my back. You want to?
Yeah, so I think that's he'll be all beaten, bloody, and be like, Jericho, you're next, and then pass out.
Sounds like Moxley had a little too much of the bubbly, if you ask me.
Boy.
All right,
it's me.
that's pretty bad.
Get it. That
Pretty
was
bad.
That was really bad.
And then there's also a Diamond Ring Battle Royal, and then the final two will face off the following week in a one-on-one match for the ring.
For the Ring
Lord of the Rings?
of Honor?
Ring of Honor?
Wow.
Any thoughts on that? Do you
None.
care?
I mean, I want to care, but they're not telling me why I should. Like, what is this ring?
Again, I don't want to blame Tony Khan. It seems easy, but this just feels like another like silly analytic number gimmicky thing. That
Right.
It's kind of like what was it? The Casino Battle Royal?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The Royale, where
Casino
they came out in
Battle Royal.
groups or whatever.
Right. Card groups. Or
Yeah,
card faces. The hearts, spades, clubs, and then the Joker finally at the end.
Yeah, where it just seems maybe overthinking this stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
We don't need any of that stuff.
Or, I mean, if it's going to be there, then tell me why I should care. Like, all they said was it's got to be a ring. And it's like, okay, why are we fighting for a ring? I thought we fight for belts. Like,
yeah, tell us why this ring's important.
Right.
Is it a Hall of Fame ring? Does it get you a, like, title match anytime in the year?
Exactly.
Is it a Money in the Bank kind of
thing? Is it like a best of the world type trophy that you get to put on your fireplace every year or what? Like, I've got 6 rings. I've been the best of the world 6 times or,
Yeah,
give me a reason.
So that would have been nice, and not to copy Money in the Bank, but they could say, yeah, this ring can be cashed in at any time in a year.
Boom, right there.
So there you go. Now I care about it. Okay, cool. Instead, next week, I'm sure they'll come up with something.
Yeah.
But didn't really matter. So we're going to do a little bit WWE discussion now. We got to talk about a little bit. I know. Sorry.
Talk about what?
We are currently recording this Friday night during SmackDown, which tells us our interest in that. But I will check it out Saturday afternoon. Don't worry about that.
I think I'm recording it.
But doesn't your DVR, like, turn to crap on you?
No, I have to manually press record nowadays. So basically every week I go in and I go through the days and just manually hit record. I can't do a series recording anymore for some reason. Thanks, Charter.
Oh, boy. I'm not going to comment on that. But The Fiend.
The Fiend.
So we're just going to give quick thoughts on these little topics. So The Fiend is WWE champion.
No.
I'm sorry. Universal champion. Brock Lesnar is WWE champion.
Sort of.
In theory. In name only. So.
Well, I mean, he is champion. He's just not there.
So this happened at Crown Jewel. Kind of old news at this point, but obviously I was I didn't see this coming. What do you think?
I didn't see it coming either until then they did that whole, then Brock went over to Raw and stuff like that, so I guess that kind of made it make a little more sense. Didn't think that Lesnar was going to stick around on SmackDown. I was just surprised that he didn't show up on Fox very much because I thought they really wanted him on there.
Yeah, I think once he defeated Cain Velasquez in short order.
Yeah.
Kind of like, okay.
But then again, I also heard that Fox was clamoring for The Fiend too, so one of them had to go and the other one had to stay.
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to the whole, power struggle. As much as you say Fox wanted The Fiend and Brock, you don't think USA Network also wanted him?
Exactly, right.
And we've talked about this before, but yes, Fox gave him $1 billion, but so did USA Network.
Exactly.
They have 2 separate $1 billion deals. Everyone keeps talking about the Fox $1 billion. USA also gave Raw $1 billion.
And let's not forget how much money is coming from Saudi Arabia, too. I mean, we're talking money here, man.
Man, Saudi Arabia. Back to that again.
Printing money.
So I obviously like The Fiend as champion. I don't know about him kicking out of 50 curb stomps. And, I mean, how does anything beat him? Every single match now, Daniel Bryan, who the feud is teased with next.
Right.
I mean, he's going to give him 5 running... No, it ain't The Miz. He's going to give him 5 running knees.
Yeah, and nothing.
And, and what? I mean, is he just going to stand up again?
Maybe Daniel Bryan will convert. Is
this leading to Roman Reigns' 1 spear to beat him at WrestleMania?
Oh, that'll be horrible.
I will get to that later, and consider that a tease. So that goes to my next topic here. Brock Lesnar back to Raw.
Yeah.
This kind of went to something with Rollins' promo a few weeks ago, but we're kind of right back to square one here. Brock Lesnar on champ on Raw. I know he's a WWE champion.
Hardly ever there.
And Seth Rollins' whole mission statement earlier in the year was win the Rumble.
Yep.
Beat Brock.
Yep.
And make the champ full time.
Right.
And now we're back to Rollins, non-title, back to not whining, but complaining, contemplating his, future and stuff. And Brock Lesnar's champ again. So are we really back to 1 year ago?
Pretty much. Because welcome to the USA Network, where we just recycle every... I mean, how many times are they going to replay the same Law & Order SVU episode?
I don't watch
so
that.
So here we are. No, neither do I, but obviously it's the same. It's the same thing every week. Abused. Court. Boom. Done.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're into replaying things over and over again, so why not do it with WWE too? You know,
Are you suggesting this is USA's fault?
No, I'm just saying that they're stuck in a rut over there on Raw and maybe even SmackDown because, I mean, like you said, it's going on right now as we're recording. And how much interest do we have in it? Like, are you following along on your phone right now?
No, I'm not following along. I have no idea. But this leads to my next topic. Kind of surprising. I don't know. Survivor Series isn't all Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. We are getting Brock Lesnar versus Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Both Raw guys now. I guess Brock was the trade for Alexa and Nikki Cross.
Sounds like it, sort of.
Is that a fair trade?
Well, it depends. I mean...
Raw got hosed. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm
kidding.
I'm glad you agree.
I'm kidding.
I think any show that got Brock Lesnar gets hosed.
Oh, my gosh. So, Brock and Rey.
Send him down to OVW.
At least they're both on Raw. I will say that. And Rey, by the way, he's been showing up on SmackDown with Cain Velasquez, but we can forget about the little brand stuff, I guess. So
Wild card. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Brock and Rey, is this going to be a 5-second destruction, or is Brock going to kind of like respect Rey and their history on SmackDown in 2002, 2003? And is this actually going to be like a Finn Balor or a Daniel Bryan or an AJ Styles match where, you know, it's really good?
I don't know. Is Bray hurt?
Is he ever not hurt?
Yeah, right. I don't know. It's interesting because, you know, we hear all this talk about bringing Dominic in and he's going to do this and that and the other thing. But is Brock Lesnar really the guy that they're going to do that with?
Yeah, is Dominic going to come in and hit Brock with a chair and Rey going to win the title or something stupid? I hope not.
I don't know.
I still think Rey and Dominic will end up teaming at Mania. I think that's where this is headed. I don't know who the tag champs will be at the time, but I can still see that. And hey, if Braun can win the titles with 11-year-old Nicholas, then...
Was he 11?
I don't know. Who cares? Then I think Dominic and Rey seems pretty formidable.
I thought it was awesome. I loved it every second.
It was kind of cool, actually. And then the ref was his dad.
Yeah. Well, he had to vacate because, you know, he had math class.
He had school. And your buddy was the referee.
Grade. Yeah, John Cohen.
Your buddy John.
He held my phone, took a picture of the Big Show.
So I'm actually looking forward to Brock Rey, and I do think we'll get a match. You can quote me on that, and if I look like an idiot in 2 weeks, then fine.
Boy.
But I think we're going to get a match. I think Brock kind of, you know, knows who he likes to work with, and you can obviously tell.
Yeah.
We saw the Ambrose match, and then we saw how he was so giving to AJ and Finn and Daniel Bryan, where he kind of knows what brings out the best in him. And again, I think there's the respect.
I think you're giving him way too much.
Same with The Undertaker. You know, there is that respect level. Mysterio's a veteran. Whether he's unselfish or not, he's not going to agree to go in and get destroyed in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a little bit more.
But Kofi was fine with that?
Well, Kofi and Rey are not in the same... I don't think so. But anyways, speaking of Kofi, the New Day.
Tag champs.
Won it for Xavier, who unfortunately is out. That sucks for him.
Yeah, that's. I guess that was I actually watched the bit of him getting injured, and he stepped wrong, and that was it. And you're gone for a year.
Yeah, sometimes that can happen, and you know, a lot of people always talk about Kofi, obviously in the New Day, and people always talk about Big E. But I've always thought there was more Xavier. If people remember when he debuted years back, you know, he was on his own. There was something there with him. I don't know about his Power Ranger thing he did, whatever, before his finish. If you go back and watch his debut, I mean, I don't think that really connected, but I think there's always been something there with Xavier and the fact that he, you know, has I guess the smarts, and you can bank on that, kind of like the Britt Baker, where she has the education. She has all the tools and all that stuff where you can always promote that side of it too, outside of the ring aspect. And then, of course, his, I think, 1 million subscribers on YouTube, whatever is up, down. So sucks for Xavier.
Left, right, BABA, select, start. 30 guys.
There you go. So I think the Revival had another pointless run.
Yeah, I mean
tag champs.
Was it remarkable for any? Did they have do anything with it? They won the titles, and then they tried to do an RKO thing or like team up with. Yeah,
which
Randy.
Apparently
and then
Randy like requested, and they wanted to all do it.
Yeah,
and
they were all
moved to
about
different shows.
And then they got put on different shows. And all of that like social media stuff that Randy was putting up was just to get his contract. How about that, huh?
Yeah, I do wonder if the contract was already agreed to before all that, and at that point he was having fun, or was this him having fun during negotiations?
Right, trying to get
like, hey, want to add another zero to that contract?
Right.
Let me post this.
I got an offer. I
like
can
how
get an offer.
he posted. It was him pointing at like Elite or something.
Yeah,
it was a sign or something, and I liked how the tagged location was Jacksonville, Florida.
Yep, I saw that too.
I thought that was very clever. Again, I don't think anyone really believed Orton was going anywhere, but
no.
I like the Revival teaming. I don't know why that ended, and especially if they wanted it.
Right. Well, I mean, because Vince didn't.
Is this more of like, I think it's more of Luke Harper and Revival. They're just, I think, waiting their contracts out.
Yeah.
I think Gallows and Anderson re-signing, you could see that coming with AJ.
Right.
Because I don't know if they'd get 500 or 700,000 per year.
Well, they're the best tag in the world.
They are that. And I don't think they were going to get anywhere near that elsewhere as much as we love them. I don't think that would happen. And the Revival and Luke Harper, like I said, I think they're just waiting their contracts out. I don't think there's any amount they could throw at them to re-sign. Now watch them re-sign, and I look like an idiot.
And then there it is.
I do think they're out of there. Now Sin Cara wants out. Mike Kanellis.
Sin Cara is going to be sitting for a while. He just signed a 5-year deal, and now he wants out. Like, come on. Poor timing, dude.
I don't know if this is a bold prediction, but you can mark it down. I think the company is going to let some guys go. I know they gave up on Dillinger, but that was kind of predictable what he was going to do. He's buddies with Cody his whole life,
right?
And he did it just before the AEW pay-per-view, if you remember, so he could appear 90 days later.
Yep.
I don't know. We could revisit this in a week or two, but I do think they're going to start giving some guys, not all releases, but
because if you look at it on paper, like they're spending all this money, so like on paper they have all these
Box
salaries
money
that they're paying for and not getting anything out of it. So they're gonna have to start cutting some of their hemorrhaging.
I'm sure Sin Cara is just making a buttload. But either way, yeah, I do think some guys, I don't think all guys, but at some point I think some of them, they're just going to be like, let them go.
Yeah.
I think by now it's been a month or two where, they kind of know what AEW is.
Right.
I don't think this big revolution that people are still thinking is coming. I don't think it is. I don't think it ever was. They kind of are where they are. Like we said, 1 million, a little lower than 1 million. I think that's where it's going to all kind of hover around.
What?
And
wait, never mind. Sorry.
What?
We're thinking you're talking ratings, and we're thinking SmackDown that we were disagreeing.
By the way, SmackDown
it
returned from that 1 week blip on FS1 back higher ratings than the previous week, 2.6. So
yeah, but still in the 2. It's hovering around 2.
Mr. Under 2 million. But anyways,
hovering around 2.
Hovering around 2.6.
Hovering around 2.
All right. So whatever. So
no, I mean that was good for them though that they got back up there. So
yeah, and by the way, their NXT, the Invasion of NXT, that Friday night episode I watched on the plane.
Yeah.
They the service we got on that plane, I think it was from Denver to LA, and every time somebody would show up, I'd be like, and no care in the world. But anyway,
of course not.
It's like NXT, and it's like, oh yeah, the plane in Saudi, like they had to run a show.
Yeah,
like who's in the States? They just called everyone. Who's available?
And I actually really enjoyed that show. I think I watched it too, actually live on them.
Yeah, that's probably one of their better episodes. Like I said, we're recording during it, so it, I don't think the episodes have been that good, especially with Reigns losing to King Corbin last week.
I guess.
I don't know about that, but anyway, so we're gonna kind of lead into the Twitter question of the week.
Twitter question of the week.
And you can do that each week at Justin Watry, of course. So feel free to, cheap
not
plug.
so cheap plug.
Not so cheap this time. So at WWE Factoids, one of our buddies.
Hey, Factoids, how are you? Hit me with some knowledge, man.
All right. Well, he mentions it might be a little early, it might not, but early Royal Rumble predictions.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Men's and women's, I assume, this year again.
Oh boy.
Do we have anyone? Well, while you're thinking, I will say this.
You talk, I'll think.
It's a little slight pat on the back, but Money in the Bank, I'm usually horrible at predicting winners. Money in the Bank, I never have a clue because there's always the possibility of they want to take a chance with this guy. There's the briefcase. They can always get rid of it. The guy can lose. There's always these different, things going on with the briefcase. With the Rumble, it's pretty straightforward. Who do they want in a main event of WrestleMania? Okay, you can eliminate 20, 25 guys right off the bat. They're not going to win.
Right.
So there's always one or two people anyway. So I had Nakamura and Asuka winning in 2018. I thought predictable. I thought it was easy. Those were my picks. They won. 2019, Becky winning, obviously, to do her thing.
Yep.
And Rollins. Again, I thought those two were pretty much the only two that were going to win. Those were the picks. They won. So Rumble, I think, is a little bit more straightforward. Money in the Bank, not really much of a clue. I believe they're doing another baseball stadium. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I want to say Atlanta, but I don't think it's Atlanta. I could be wrong on that. Either way, I think they've already announced the NXT Saturday is not going to happen. Instead, they're going to do a Worlds Collide tournament again. So TakeOver might be kind of, going on its own a little bit more. I don't know. So if you remember in June, they did do their own TakeOver, the 25th one, if you remember that.
Yeah.
TakeOver had their own.
Right.
No pay-per-view. So I don't know about that. But anyways, so if you're still looking, do you have any Royal Rumble picks, men or women?
I'm working on it. Hold on.
Still working on it? All right. Well, then I'll just get to my big one.
Yeah, get to yours.
I mentioned it earlier, but before everybody groans, I will mention Roman Reigns.
Yep.
So
what I came up with was a Final Four. So.
Oh gosh.
Because that's what I do is I go for the Final Four and then I go with like who I'd like to win.
All right. Well, I'll quickly say before getting to your Final Four, Roman Reigns has not won a Rumble in 5 years. So he won in 2015 or 2015, and by 2020 it would be 5 years.
Yep.
And he has not won since then. He's been in the final 2, 3, whatever. He hasn't won. So saying, "Oh, Roman again." It's been 5 years. All right. So, let's relax here. And as top stars, yes, you do win the Rumble a couple of times. Stone Cold, Hogan, Cena, Batista, I think even Triple H have all won 2 Rumbles or even 3. So, guys do repeat as winners. And if the Fiend is going to be champion for a while, I guess technically he's a heel, then you need a face. And since returning, Reigns has stayed out of the way. He's not really done much. He just lost to King Corbin.
He's been more doing supportive feuds than really main event stuff.
I mean, even feuded with Shane. He feuded with the Stud at WrestleMania. So, I mean, what?
Can you use his name? Come on.
Yeah, the Stud. So he feuded. God. He's been doing, like you said, these little supporting roles and all this. So, if he goes back to the main event scene, we know it's going to happen at some point. So he is my name right there. Now, do you want to talk about your Final Four little thing?
Sure. So Roman's up there.
Of course.
I got Seth Rollins just because he's that level. Now, this is Final Four, not who's going to win.
Okay, all right.
So I think he's going to be in that because he's at that level. Then my 2 that I'm not so sure about, but kind of solid on, Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
And AJ Styles.
I was going to say AJ Styles.
And my pick to win.
Oh, boy, drum roll.
AJ Styles.
There it is, folks.
If he is not United States champion by then.
I don't think it matters. If he wants to add more gold to it, or, he has 3 months to drop it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember Cena losing the U.S. title in the build-up to his match with JBL.
That's right.
Obviously, he's going to be champ for a year, so it's like we got to get
Carlito?
No, that was a few months before. Then he won it back. He lost it to Orlando Jordan, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
One of JBL's guys. So, I like the AJ Styles. I like the Daniel Bryan, especially if he's now a face and he kind of builds up momentum the next few months. Because Bryan, some argue he should have won a Rumble back in 2014.
Yeah.
Maybe should have won it over Batista.
I came real close to swearing off WWE.
A few more guys I will quick throw out there, but if WWE really cares about this Cain Velasquez or Tyson Fury thing continuing to face Brock, remember there is a champ on Raw, not just the Fiend.
Don't waste the Rumble on that.
No, that feels like a Goldberg-Brock, where they can get there a different way.
Yeah.
And here's my other name for the men.
Uh-oh.
We mentioned it earlier, but CM Punk. If he's coming back.
Yeah.
So, first of all, it'd be hypocritical to the nth degree, but if he comes back as a part-timer to main event WrestleMania, the sweet irony in that.
Yeah.
But if he is coming back, you would assume it's either going to be working with a buddy, whether it's a Daniel Bryan, whether it's an Adam Cole, whether it's a Samoa Joe.
That'd be cool.
AJ Styles, something like that. Or, yes, it's going to be coming back to face Brock for the title. It's going to be, a mega main event. So, women's.
What does Paul Heyman do?
Heyman guy.
All right. Yeah, I got the women's too.
Do you?
Yep.
I hope it's not the same as mine, but go ahead.
So, the Final Four.
Okay, Final Four.
Asuka.
Okay, definitely.
Alexa.
Okay.
Bliss. Sasha Banks.
Oh.
And possibly, I don't know if this is going to happen or not.
Say it.
Ronda Rousey.
There it is.
Now, if Ronda is in this Rumble, then she's winning it.
Yes.
if she is not in this Rumble, I am pulling for Alexa.
Okay, my whole thing always, again, is, the Rumble guys or girls, that's your main feud for Mania.
Right.
Who do you want in that spot? And I don't know if Alexa Bliss would do that. I think she's great, all those things, but another injury? I mean, can this girl stay healthy?
Yeah, I mean, I see that.
And now it's another thing after just returning from returning.
Right. I had that's a good point. I didn't take that into consideration.
I like the Asuka thing. The Kabuki Warriors thing has been going great so far. I like that, obviously.
Yeah, it's turned around since they've left Paige. She's more devious. She's got the green paint going on. I really like where she's going with that.
I'm not sure who will be champion by then, but of course there's Bayley, there's Charlotte,
yeah,
there's Becky.
That's what I was thinking with the Alexa thing. It would be kind of cool to see Alexa turn face and have her take on heel Bayley. That would be a pretty cool
that would be
dynamic. Good. I mean, because everybody loves Alexa. When she's bad, and you love it. And when she's good, the crowd will go nuts.
She's on SmackDown. I agree with that. Even the Nikki Cross out there, I don't think they would bump her up. But if they want to bump her up, that'd be fine. Charlotte did not win the Rumble last year. She wants another accolade added to her.
Of course. She's got to have them all.
I assume Becky...
I didn't even put her in my Final Four. I didn't even think about her.
I assume Becky will remain champ for a year. I think that's a cool story. She'll be champ for a year to Mania. So I assume she will be champion, and like you, if number 30, Ronda Rousey, comes out, oh man, and then we still need that one-on-one match.
We do need that one.
She
I can see that.
Keep her baby making stuff for after that
another
Mania.
Time. Yeah.
Do a 3-month feud with Becky, and I mean, I guess lose again. I don't know. Would she probably lose?
She could. I mean,
she would come back and win the title, and she'd have to stick around then.
Right.
But.
Be a good match, though. I'd be all about it.
If Ronda Rousey comes out at the Rumble.
Wow.
I'd love that.
Well, I mean, there it is.
So we have our winners already.
Okay.
It's the letters R's. It's Ronda Rousey and Roman Reigns.
No, I didn't pick Roman. Jerk.
I know you picked
AJ.
AJ. I like the AJ pick, actually, because he has done a lot in his WWE career so far, and it's only been a few years.
Yeah, and he could use a win on his resume as well. That'd be really cool to have that.
And Gallows and Anderson, by his side at the main event of WrestleMania. I think that's something cool.
What an entrance they could have, huh?
That would be very big. I don't think, I'm trying to think, I don't think we're going to have like a Batista-type return. I don't think someone's going to kind of come in. Like we mentioned CM Punk.
Yeah.
I think it is going to go to somebody there, and then there's always the Brock feud. I think any Brock feud is always big. I know you may not agree, but all it takes is one promo for Brock Lesnar to look at somebody smaller and shove them off, and there's your feud right there. It's pretty easy to tell. I would have thrown in Finn Balor, but, he's with NXT now.
Yep, right.
But... he's always a good pick to kind of be out there. Again, I don't think Cena. I don't think anyone's returning.
Yeah.
Cena, Brock, might be pretty big. I don't think
Cena
The Rock
could start it off and get thrown out right away. All right, going back to China.
With Lars Sullivan again?
Yeah, right. Where's he been?
By the way, Cena did say he's planning on being at every Mania. So
well, good.
I'm sure he'll be there, even though he was only rapping with Elias this year. He was still there.
Well, and the year before, he was drinking a beer in the audience. Till Taker showed up.
And then he ran in back.
Yeah.
Which was kind of funny, and then he stood around, and I don't know. I loved that. I loved the whole setup.
It was good.
Taker beat him in 2 minutes.
Done
and over with.
See ya.
So besides the Rumble, which is 2.5 months
Thanks for buying your ticket and performing on the show.
I wonder who got those seats when he got up.
VIPs.
Somebody looked around like, is he coming back?
Some contest winner.
Some contest. Is it Nicholas?
Yeah.
All right. It's 2.5 months away, but any closing thoughts on the current Survivor Series, NXT War Games, anything before we sign out here?
It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the NXT get thrown in the Survivor Series mix. That'll be pretty cool. It seems like it is overshadowing War Games a little bit, but let's see how they play it off,
Do you think NXT is going to win at Survivor Series?
That would be considered an upset, wouldn't it?
It would be considered an upset, and I think the Shayna Baszler thing is just awesome. I think I know Bayley kind of third wheel or not. I think the stare down with her and Becky was great, and anybody wondering about Shayna main roster whatever. I loved on the I think it was NXT not this Wednesday, last Wednesday. If you saw that. It was when the OC showed up.
Yeah.
And then Tommaso Ciampa came out.
Yeah.
And then...
Daddy's home.
And then everyone, he said, ever since I got here, people have been wondering when I'm going to the main roster.
Welcome to the main roster.
And then he looked at the OC and he's like, welcome to the main roster.
Yep.
I thought that was great.
That was good. That was very good.
I think
Solidarity.
Shayna is also a Rumble dark horse, by the way. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, I thought Shayna's doing great. I don't want to say she should win at Survivor Series, but that's kind of the one where I hope NXT doesn't lose. The multi-tag and all that NXT with the Viking Raiders and Undisputed Era and New Day, the triple threat match.
Right.
I think that could go either way, even with Nakamura and that triple threat match with Roderick Strong and AJ.
That's going to be killer.
I think that's going to be awesome. I know there was a story that Bryan was going to be added. He was going to beat Nakamura.
Oh, yeah,
so then
I heard
it'd be
that.
Bryan, AJ, and Strong, which, yeah.
Ring of Honor circa, what, 2006?
5, 6, yeah. So I thought that'd be awesome. I don't really care, honestly, who wins these matches. If we remember the year Raw swept SmackDown and then there was no follow-up.
There was no,
Just SmackDown loses every match. All right, cool. So anyways, but the Shayna one, I think if Becky doesn't want to take the fall, Bayley's right there.
Right.
As much as, she could easily sneak in and win this match and then be like, you overlooked me, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So those are my thoughts, and I agree. I think War Games has kind of gotten the shaft here a little bit. They've, it's kind of been forgotten about a little bit, but it's NXT. We know it'll be great.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going to end things here with the usual plugs. You know all about it. You are listening to the 4114 Foresight Wrestling Podcast on the 4111 Podcasting Network, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, all that good stuff. You know where to find us. Steve, tell us what you got.
Oh, excuse me, caught me yawning. We got the Resonant.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. We got the Resonant Complex. We have a debut album, North Avenue, that is available everywhere digital music is sold. You can even find yourself a physical copy on cdbaby.com. Just search out the Resonant Complex. We also have a YouTube channel where you can find all our videos, and check us out on Spotify, too.
Check them out on Spotify. I got to get up at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, so we are signing out here with the Resonant Complex.
It's right, it's left, it's black, it's white, and everyone's wrong because everyone's right. And now our fingers do the talking. Please like my post, and we fight about which lives matter the most. The more we try to enjoy ourselves, the more we just destroy ourselves. And where do we start to fix it all when no one's to blame, 'cause no one's your fault? Do you ever look around and hate what you see? Or maybe it's time for a little